Blackhawks fall in Edmonton 3-2 in overtime to the Oilers. Man, I just love when the 9 p.m. starts go into overtime, and now I'm getting this video out. I'm recording this at midnight here in Chicago, but it was a fun game, another one that goes to overtime for the Blackhawks, a few of those so far this season, and I thought it was a pretty fun game, all things considered. I think the person I want to start off talking about is Connor Bedard, obviously the star of the Blackhawks. I thought he had a real strong game in this one. This is one of his better games of the season, in my opinion. His line was playing really, really well. He was on the ice for both Blackhawks goals. In this one, he assisted on a power play goal to Tyler Bertuzzi in the second period. And then in the third period, he was on the ice for the Andre Burakovsky goal. And I just thought he had a real solid game, had a few really high quality chances. He was credited with 4 shots in this game, but he's been looking to shoot more over these past 5 or so games, and I really like that he has such a good shot. I'm happy he's starting to use it more and more, and yeah, he's just looked really good overall. We know in previous games, the last Blackhawks win, he was on the ice late, just because Jeff Blashill's trusting his two-way game more and more, which is a great sight to see. So Bedard's having himself a nice start to the year, and I thought he was real good in this one. The whole line there with Ryan Green and Andre Burakovsky had themselves a real good game. Burakovsky continues his hot streak here. I guess technically his goal streak, as he has at least back-to-back games with a goal now for Burakovsky, as he put in a rebound in the third period off a Levshunov one-timer after Ryan Green made a strong play behind the net to set that whole thing up. So those were the Blackhawks' 2 goals. The other one came, like I said, on the power play where Tyler Bertuzzi was in front and got the tap, his signature on one knee, like hands like all the way down in the stick to just tap that puck in. Absolutely love that play, and that's one of the reasons, like I actually said this, I think in the last video, I really like having Bedard on that right side, because now that play is opened up with Bertuzzi on one knee, hands all the way down in the stick on the back door. I actually said that in last video, and today we see why that works, as they scored on that one in their only power play opportunity of the game. For some reason, 2 out of the 3 games with Bedard now on the right side, we just can't see it happen because they only get 1 attempt and they score on that 1 attempt. So still in the upcoming games here, really excited to get an extended look at that Blackhawks top unit, because I really like the opportunities and the chances that open up with Connor Bedard on that right side, and we saw that in this game. I want to talk about the defensemen a bit, especially the defensive minutes. Jeff Blashill has talked about this recently, just really all season he's talked about it, but there were a few quotes that came out from him the other day just talking about how he's spreading out the defensive minutes, and I really like how it's happened. The 11-7s obviously worked really well for the Blackhawks, and it's benefiting them by allowing them not to rely so much on their top young defenders and not burn them out as we get later into the season. If you remember last year, Alex Vlasic was burned out towards the end of the year. He was saying his energy was down, and you can expect that same thing to happen with Sam Renzel if he was playing the 26 minutes per night he played in his 9 games last season. So they've really managed the defensive minutes here, and that was apparent in this game. Kaiser and Vlasic were the 2 Blackhawks defenders that handled over 20 minutes in this game. I thought, it's midnight here in Chicago, so pardon me for these little mistakes here, but what I'm trying to say is Kaiser, I thought he was real good tonight. I had a few clips that I posted on Twitter, just standard shift by shift of Wyatt Kaiser, just making solid under the radar plays. I thought he had himself a real strong game, especially down the stretch in the third period of the tied game. Kaiser was just playing so clean and steady in his own zone. Made a couple breakout passes, skated out the puck out of the zone. Just real steady play from him, and I thought I just think he's building on what's been a really strong start to the season for him. And Jeff Blashill and Andrew Sorensen are trusting him and putting him out there a lot. He got the second most minutes on the team tonight. I think it's just really interesting how these minutes have worked out, because obviously you expect Vlasic to be the number 1. He has been, even though his average ice time's down like a minute or so, which I like. They're kind of saving him a little bit more for as we get into the season. But then Kaiser's been super good. But what's really interesting, Connor Murphy's only played 12.5 minutes in this game. He really he was the least amount of ice time per among the Blackhawks defensemen. So he's really been in the kind of 7th defenseman role, as Louis Crevier, who played 19 minutes tonight, has really kind of taken his place on really the third or second pair top penalty kill. Crevier got the shift with like a minute left in the tie game. He got the defensive zone shift with Alex Vlasic over Murphy, which I found interesting. It just shows how good Crevier's played. I think he's totally deserving of this, even though Murphy hasn't done anything too bad. But Crevier's just been so good, and the staff is trusting him down the stretch on the penalty kill. He's getting looks over Murphy, even though obviously, you're going to have Murphy taking plenty of his own D-zone shifts, but Krevier's really jumped him. It seemed that he played 19 minutes tonight. Murphy only 12 and a half. Levshinov, I thought he had a solid game. He's really started to settle in a bit after a rocky start. He's put together a few good quality games. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about him, fans wanting to send him back down to the AHL, wondering why he's not playing, a ton of minutes, but I really like how it's being handled. I think he gets a little bit overrated. Like, you have to play him 20 minutes tonight or he's not going to get better. I don't think that's the case. I think even if he's playing, 13, 14, 15 minutes, he played, I think 14 and a half, something along those lines tonight. Even if you play him for limited minutes, I still think is really benefiting playing him here at the NHL level as opposed to the AHL level, just specifically for a player like Levshinov. That feels like a way he can grow. Maybe for someone like Kevin Korchinski, that's not how it's going to work for him. He's someone that just needs to play the top minutes, but I think Levshinov can better himself and learn and grow as a player, even if he's playing, not top pair minutes necessarily. So all in all, I like how the defensive minutes have been shuffled out, and I like the 11 and 7. I think that's going to be a trend that continues moving forward. Only other thing really to talk about, Spencer Knight stopped 27 of 30 in this one. He was real solid. Again, stopped a penalty shot in the first period, had a few other quality saves. That overtime goal, he made an unreal save, but then Bouchard put in the rebound. So not much more you can ask from him. He definitely has a bounce back from a rough one in Winnipeg. Got to go over your takeaways over on Twitter at Blackhawks Focus before I head to bed. Definitely want to get these in. We got some here from tonight's overtime game in Edmonton. First one here, Artie, besides OT, because he was gassed, had a really, really good game. Definitely agree. I thought this was a strong Levshinov game, and yet that OT sequence was unfortunate for him. He got caught on the ice for like a 2.5 minute shift or so before they scored. Nazar was flying but couldn't get one to go. Yeah, especially in the first period, he had a few high quality chances. I thought he's had a pretty good game. Hasn't really been able to get on the board outside of that empty netter a few nights ago, but he's still been playing pretty well. I'll take the point. And no, we went toe-to-toe with the defending Western Conference champs. Yeah, this was just another strong effort, another close game. I definitely will take a point versus a very good Edmonton Oilers team. So not mad at that. These were probably the two toughest games of the trip. Obviously, as they get, they'll probably be more gassed a few games towards the back end of the trip, but the opponents aren't quite as tough as the first two. So I guess I'll take a point, not too mad at it. You're not beating a team like Edmonton and OT. The Hawks have speed and youth, but Edmonton has speed and experience. It'll come with a bit more time. It's a tough matchup there in overtime with McDavid, Draisaitl, and some guys like Bouchard. I mean, I'm not going to give Bouchard credit, not my favorite defenseman, but with McDavid, Draisaitl, they got some good options there. So that's a tough team to play in OT. Blackhawks never really got the puck at all. The forecheck tonight was great. They looked better than the reigning conference champs for most of the game. Oilers special teams were obviously better, and that was the difference. Both of the Oilers' goals in regulation were on the power play. So it's not even the penalty kill was that bad. It's just more so the Oilers' power play is really, really good. So they definitely outplayed them 5-on-5, and they got a couple power play goals to go. So definitely not mad at it. And like you said, the forechecking was great. That green goal, the green setup to lead to the Burakovsky goal was a great example of that. Next one says really, really good effort. Yeah, I thought this was a solid game. Third period was our best. 3v3 overtime still lame. I think the 3v3 OTs exciting. Is just tough versus a team that has Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I wish we could win a face-off. It matters. Yeah, Blackhawks went 45%. Wasn't a terrible face-off game, but they continued to, for the most part, get outplayed in the circle, especially on a night when Dickinson is out of the lineup. That's going to be tough, and that's going to be kind of a problem. So, and they were also playing Ryan Green on the wing. So that's interesting to think about. I don't know how many face-offs Green ended up taking in this one, but probably would want him on primary center. Or at least I'd want him at a primary center on a night when Dickinson is out. But maybe he was taking face-offs on the top line instead of Bedard. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to go search it up. It's just too late for that. Played very well 5-on-5. Unfortunately, Oilers are great on the power play and on 3-on-3-2. Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. Oilers really their two best areas they capitalized, and that's just kind of how this game went. So yeah, that does it for the takeaways. Yeah, I really think that kind of sums this one up. Late night recap. I guess only the other thing to talk about, I found it funny, the Blue Jays game, Blue Jays Dodgers World Series game was going on, and you could just hear the Edmonton crowd reacting to the really crazy late inning plays that happened in that one. That ninth inning was crazy, and the Edmonton fans were reacting. It got loud there just for random stuff that happened. So I found that funny. I don't know. I just wanted to mention that for whatever the reason. But that is going to do it for this video. Little quick recap here, late night recap. Blackhawks have another late night game, another 9 p.m. game. I think on Monday. I'm not totally sure, to be honest, but I think they play 9 p.m. Probably will go to overtime just because it's another late puck drop. But yeah, we'll see you then. I'll still get the video out.